Hey guys, welcome to the Baseball Junkies podcast, episode 11. I'm your host, Adrian from A League of Her Own.
And I'm your boy, Mr. Enfuego.
From Mr. Enfuego on YouTube. Be sure to check my guy out. Got his link posted at the top of the comments, guys. Make sure to give him a follow. He recently went over 400 subs. Congratulations, my man.
Appreciate it.
I'm about to hit 900, so I'm going to do a giveaway here pretty soon on my channel. It's going to be awesome. Guys, thank you for joining today. Don't forget to hit that like button. We've got some fun topics to talk about today. We are going to start off with paying our respects, giving our love to Damar Hamlin. We hope for a speedy recovery for him. I've seen nothing but good news so far with his recovery. It seems to be slow, but I'm hoping the best for him. I know a lot of you are. I know he's in our thoughts and prayers. And if any of you in the sports world that have been living in a box or didn't hear about this, but Damar Hamlin is a player for the Buffalo Bills. He was injured on the field last Sunday. He suffered a heart injury. I watched several videos on it. It's a unique name. I'm sure I have it on my notes here. He basically tackled somebody. He stood up, passed out, and they had to do CPR and use an AED and things of that nature. He's been in critical condition in the hospital on a breathing machine. Just double checking it here. I think he is breathing on his own now, and he's continuing to make progress. So thoughts and prayers go out to him.
Now the name of
we wanted to touch base about this.
The name that the medical term that they're using for his injury is commotio cordis.
Thank you. Yes, that's when he suffered a hit to the chest at the right millisecond of his part of the heartbeat, where it basically knocked it off rhythm, and it's a super rare I don't want to say disease or condition, super rare condition that can occur. And gosh, I just feel he's only 24 years old. I know our heart aches for him, and I can't even imagine what his family and friends are going through right now. Things seem to be progressing in the right direction, so hopefully it continues to do so. And we wanted to talk about this because this is a big deal. We want to let people know that we care about him, and we hope the best for him. But I also, unfortunately, this did touch the hobby world. The second this gentleman got hurt, people decided to post his cards up for ridiculous prices. All his cards were selling right away. I don't know. I guess there's just people like that out there. I don't know where the common decency is here. I don't, people digging out their cards and then putting it up for astronomical prices. Now, however, if you're someone that was doing that in hopes of getting money to donate to different organizations that are in support for him, that I can respect. That makes sense to me. That's the only thing that makes sense to me as far as making money off this situation right now. There was a big article that Mr. Enfuego had found, and we talked about this week, of an organization called SDN Sports Cards, that they had a GoFundMe scam about this situation. And this is just awful. Don't be like this. Don't be these people. I'm going to read what I have so far. S&D Sports Cards, a dealer that sells on Facebook and whatnot, was caught trying to scam users out of money meant to be donated to charity. After raising nearly $3,000 from 54 collectors, users of Facebook scammer group discovered that what appeared to be doctored images of the GoFundMe. So basically, they posted the GoFundMe receipt, doctored it up, and all they actually donated out of that money was $5. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, and karma's going to get you. That's how I always feel about that. So
shame on you.
Not that S&D was in my wheelhouse anyway, but you certainly won't be now because ain't nobody having time for that.
But
Yeah.
on the positive side to that, though, in regards to Hamlin's charity, I think he raised a total of like $3,000 out of 54 contributors. However, some notable donations came from the likes of Tom Brady, who donated 10 grand.
Yeah.
Then you had the Raiders head coach, Josh McDaniels. He donated 2,500. So I think it skyrocketed somewhere around the millions number now because of
Yeah.
acts of what Tom Brady and them did. So at least we could say that there's still some honesty within the sports world that, recognize when somebody is hurt and they know that they've been doing something outside of the sport, trying to do the right thing for their community or for the right cause, they try to support that as well.
100%. I will find a link to that GoFundMe, and I'm gonna put it in the description of this podcast if anybody wants to donate to that. I want to say I saw the number was like at $3 million, something like that, the $3 million mark.
Well, according to White Sox Tom, it's up to 8 million.
Even better. Love it. I love
better.
it. So, hats off to that GoFundMe organization, and thumbs down to people trying to. I don't know. There's flippers. There's still a lot of flippers out there that suck. Like, I'm all about making some money and stuff like that, but let's try to
Do
keep
it the
common
right
decency
way.
in it. So, anyways, let's move on to some baseball news. Let's get into some good stuff now. To me, this was great news. The Red Sox, they signed Devers, and it's not just that little 1-year extension thing. It's a whole deal with, what are my numbers in Fuego? You got them for me.
Your numbers are an 11. Well, first off, the 1 year was for $17.1 million. Okay. Initially, when I saw that, I brought it up to Adrian. I'm like, I thought the arbitration number was 19.6. Just saying. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But then later on the day, I got word that he was offered and he accepted an 11-year extension worth $331 million.
Dude, awesome. Because both of us, when we heard about that 1-year extension thing, we're like, oh man, like, really, Red Sox? They're just doing that, and they're gonna trade them in the middle of years. What I'm thinking, like, man, they're not gonna do it. They're not gonna go for them. And then I think literally a day later, maybe 2 days, is when that deal went down, and I was like, awesome. If I'm a Red Sox fan, I'm an excited person. Hopefully some of those vibes rub off on my Oakland A's, right? No, it's not going to happen. Anyways, so Rafael Devers going to be staying with the Red Sox. Get your Rafael Devers rookie cards out. Start hunting for them. I want some now. Why not? That's the deal of our week right now. Now, in still keeping with baseball news, Carlos Correa is still in the news, to my dismay, because you guys know I'm not the biggest Carlos Correa fan if I haven't mentioned it before. Still hasn't finalized the deal with the Mets. Sounds like the Mets are a little frustrated right now, last I've read here.
A little
bit. And I've heard the rumors are kind of all over the place. Other teams, or the Mets, maybe it's still a deal, but not as many years, not as big, things of that nature. It's so weird. I was watching Fuzzy today. You guys catch Fuzzy on YouTube. He does great baseball videos every day, and he showed the video last season where Carlos Correa was sliding into second base, and he got tagged or hit
landed on his injury on his leg.
His foot is. Yeah, and it sent like numbness or vibration through, all this whole thing, which, on another note, even after that injury, he played better after the fact, but I don't know why there is lots of concern with that injury that he suffered in 2014, which required a plate to be installed down by his fibula, I believe it is, down
It
his
was
foot.
the fibula.
Yeah. And
I mean, put yourself in Cohen's shoes, though, Adrian. Are you willing to commit that contract that you both parties agreed to with the information you know now?
I wasn't willing to commit it before I knew about the injury. I thought that was too many years, too much time for him. Don't get me wrong, he's a great shortstop, but and I that's the other thing that baffles me. He had just signed the deal with the Twins the year before. Why was I mean, other
He
than
had
I
an
guess
option. He had the ability to opt out of the contract.
Yeah, I understand, but why wasn't it a concern for the Twins last year?
Well, probably because, well, I mean, it's maybe a safe assumption where each team probably has different requirements when it comes to the physical.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. You know, it's kind of like if you're enlisting into the military, you know how when you go into the Mets in place A, you know, they check you from head to toe and they find, I don't know, your teeth are throwing gang signs. It disqualifies you from enlistment. But then if you go to Met Station B, your teeth are still throwing the same gang signs, but they'll be like, okay, you know what? We could look past that. We'll fix that later on. Okay. So I mean, if a team is looking to capitalize on a huge addition to their team, they'll do whatever it takes. They'll look up, I'm sure that they'll look past some things. And that's probably the same mindset that the Twins had, because right now, with how this deal is going, and I got a feeling Correa has been advised to keep his mouth shut so that there's no file of complaint or grievance to the MLBPA. Scott Boras is the one behind this whole contract shenanigans. Now, one or two things could potentially happen. Cohen could say, you know what? I'll bite the bullet, throw him the money. I got an addition. I'll take advantage of him as much as I can. Or they'll walk away from the deal and the Twins will offer him something just as good, and he'll end up having no choice but to stick with the Twins.
Fair enough. We'll see. I'm super intrigued to see how that pans out, just because it's been taking so long to pan out. I really expected this to be done with by now, but yeah. So Rafael Devers, Carlos Correa were our big big MLB news things of the week. I cannot wait for baseball to be back. I'm trying to think if there was anything else MLB that I was really excited about. And Trevor Bauer. Trevor Bauer did get released from the Dodgers. So I am super intrigued to see where he ends up, because I do think a team will pick him up. It's, he's even though he's been out of the game, I know he's still been training, and he will be a nice addition for a team that needs pitching. That's just how it goes.
Here's my deal with him, though. He's probably in the same boat as Colin Kaepernick.
You think so? Player. Yeah.
Great player. Yeah. Nobody want to deal with that drama.
I was gonna say he's a ball club cancer. Like wherever he goes, it's like distractions and just drama. Like, when people are just trying to win games and play ball. So
and that's basically it. But now, there's restrictions. Yes, you would be a great addition to the team. However, yeah. So, right now, Trevor Bauer,
you are the weakest link.
It's just like nobody want him. I don't blame them.
Yeah. 100%. All right. So moving forward into our hobby news, let's get into PSA. Just recently posted a video, which I did link in the description, on their recent changes to pricing and club member stuff and non-club club member stuff, and raising the declared value on a lot of things. For those of you that have graded with PSA, it's not just as simple as sending just I pick this and send this card in. You do have to there are many different sections that you need to follow in through. Like, so what a lot of people are doing these days, a lot of ultra modern stuff. And there's bulk deals and things of that nature on PSA. But when you are submitting, you have a declared value. So you send in your card, and if it's worth up to a certain amount, you pay so much. If it's worth a lot of money, you pay more, and it's probably a faster service along it as well. The declared value is a big thing in PSA grading. It's not so much in other grading things like SGC and HGA. I think BGS does a declared value on some level too. Beckett doesn't even do it. No. Okay. So, PSA just before the year ended had some great deals where it was about $15 a card for like ultra modern stuff and things of that nature. Now, just bring up their services here. They changed it to. Let's just see here. Okay. I didn't have the right page up. I apologize for that. Let's go. Card grading. Let's go. So I currently have like submissions in for, I believe, like your bulk value is at $18 a card. Let's go here. I'm trying to click through to get to it. There's so many different. So even when you're going through trying to just basically get a card graded, you've got the options of no autograph authentication, dual service card grade only, dual service autograph grade only. There's so many options. I want to say the most common is no autograph authentication. So I do that on a lot of even autograph cards when they already have the authentication from like Topps or Panini. I don't personally see any reason to have double authentication unless maybe it's something older. There were some issues with some golden things from back in the day, but for the most part. So as I look through the different service levels on PSA right now, see if y'all can keep up with me. You've got your value package for cards that are 1979 and older. You've got value for 1980 and present. You have value plus. You have regular. You have express, super express, walkthrough, and then premium 1 through 5, and then premium 10. For whatever reason, we skip 7, 8, 9. So they did the declared value beforehand was $199 declared value, what the card would be worth once it's graded. It used to be $199. Kind of tough for a lot of things that you potentially want to send in to get graded. Your base rookie cards and stuff like that, no big deal. But a lot of people are kind of stepping away from it now that things have calmed down. The big boom has since passed. But $499 is what it is now for all the value submission levels. Now value runs, they changed it now. They were at $25 a card. No, I apologize. They were at $30 a card. They have lowered it $5 to $25 a card. This is for non-club members. If you decided to do a PSA membership, which is about $100 a year, currently that's what they had. They used to have different service levels, and they're no longer doing that. Lots of changes. So, but if you're a club collector, there's lots of different deals for. They'll do different stuff for sports cards. They do a lot of different things for like Pokemon cards and Magic cards, things of that nature. They send you magazines every month. I've got a ton of magazines. I just got the Michael Jordan one in. For whatever reason, I feel like I need to keep these sealed because you know how we are with things sealed. But there are some I have open. There's tons of cool information in there, tons of cool stories, different collectors, stories about cards, things of that nature. Every once in a while, they'll kick you like if you sign up, you can get like a free backpack or a free hat, some stuff like that. That's the benefits of that. Um, but not completely necessary. Unless, like myself, I do a lot of bulk submissions, so that tends to once starts to add up. Uh, where it used to be a lot of these bulk submissions used to be like 50 to 100 cards. They have dropped that down in a lot of these things here to 20 cards per submission. That's why, like me, you guys in my PSA videos that I do a lot, you'll see me and Jebin, my friend Jebin, we put cards together in a way to split the cost. That's why Mr. Infuego sends me some cards. I have a couple other people in the community that have sent me cards just to, save a few bucks. No big deal. Yeah, so a lot of value stuff. Basically, it's going to cost you about $25 bare minimum to get something graded at PSA if you don't send it into like another submitter. And that's not including the shipping. And I say that because you're like, oh, shipping, no big deal. Well, shipping to me is a big deal. I always add insurance on my cards. Sending it to PSA. PSA includes the shipping insurance back to you. In this day and age, it's a good idea to have insurance on your cards because chances are most of us in this community, if we have cards that we feel are good enough to get graded, they're worth something to you. It's good to have insurance on them. Things happen. Okay. Moving on from there, the regular submission it has a declared value of $1,499. So some of your higher end stuff, that is going to run you about $75 a card. So it gets a little pricey, but your turnaround time is quicker. I want to say the turnaround time for the value right now is about 120 days. I would not hold to that.
Hell no.
Even though PSA has gotten a lot better about their submissions, they have been coming around a lot quicker. I should have one back any day now. I've got one in QA2, which is the last check. And usually in all my other previous submissions, whenever it's gotten to that Q1, Q2 check, the last two steps, it's like they would be boom, boom, sent to me, whatever. These two it spent 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks in QA1, and now I think we're on week 2 of QA2. So I don't know. We'll see what happens as long as I get my cards back, because that can be an issue sometimes too. As long as I get the right ones back, that'll be great also, because to be honest with you, I think most of them in the submission aren't mine. I think they're yours, Mr. Fuego and Jebin, and my brother-in-law have some in there. I might have one or two in this
okay.
I am super excited that I'm going to be trying out Express, I think, this week. I've got a card that I have deemed worthy. Express or Super Express, because Express declared value is $2,499 and Super Express $4,999. So I should be doing Super Express. I think I'm a little bit over in my mind at least, over the Express declared value, but we'll see. And then the turnaround on those are supposed to be really quick, like week kind of thing, something like that. Super Express, I feel like, is almost like a 3-day turnaround or something like that. So anyways, that's what we got going on with PSA currently. Lots of changes, lots of good news. They put that video out, and we watched it real quick before we started the podcast today, and they were talking about how they were making it easier for collectors, and I was like, I mean, I've been doing this for a minute, so I kind of get it, but it still don't seem very easy to me. But I mean, how many of you have been keeping up with what I've been jabbering about right now? It's a lot of information. This is like I can see where people are nervous or don't want to send things into grading because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of, figuring out and making sure you're doing the right thing. So anyways, that's what's going on with PSA. What else do we got? Ooh, you got your Gemrate breakdown because you sent me some good information on Gemrate.
I do. Let me pull that up real quick, and it's actually right here. So,
all right. So
Gemrate, I dropped the link on it in the last episode, and basically what that site shows you is the numbers that each of the grading companies have actually accumulated in regards to grading, what they're grading as far as sport, as far as genre, if you will, whether it's sport, non-sport, TCG, whatever, and even by individual player. So as of I got this email a couple of days ago, and 2022, the numbers are as follow. So PSA has graded a total of 11.2 million cards. Okay. CGC is at 1.4 million. CSG, they're saying roughly between 635 and 775,000. SGC is just under 100K, and Beckett is just under 750K.
Dude.
And that's just total, and that's actually everything in total. And they break it down by the genres. So like the sports is 7.5 million, so on and so forth. But I just figure I give everybody the overall picture so y'all can see so y'all get an idea of what it is that these companies are actually doing from 1 January to 31 December.
I don't know. Were you surprised by those numbers? Because I kind of was. I don't know. It's just a lot.
I believe, just with those numbers, automatically in my mind, that led me to believe if they put up those numbers for that year, those numbers are going to still be rolling over into the following year.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, I still do foresee a temporary freeze on any incoming submissions just so that they could play catch up. And I'm just talking about PSA only, because it seems like SGC, Beckett, and all those other companies, they pretty much have a handle on their workload. PSA, whether it's they're trying to collect whatever funds are coming in, they just can't keep up with the workflow. But now, I was telling Adrian right before we kicked off, I had submitted some cards to our previous special guest, Natty from Hit Seeker Sports Cards in August. I just got those cards in my home a couple of days ago, which exceeds the 120-day turnaround. But the word that he got for the delay for that compared to a submission that he did December 29th, and right now it's already in grading. So what PSA is saying is they are overstaffed, but they just don't have enough work for everybody, and they're trying not to lay nobody off. So I mean, is that really true? Because if it is, why are we waiting so long to get our submissions returned to us in a decent time? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Let me share this screen real quick. I was able to pull this up from Gemrate. Let's see here. Is it going to come up for me? Here we go.
Yep, I see it.
All right. So you got graded yesterday numbers here, 51,000. The thing right here, they're showing the recent pace. If things 10.9 million. That's this is just PSA, guys. So It's crazy. The other thing I found interesting down here, this little circle graph here, I was like, what is this here? That right there is all TCG trading, like your Pokemon and your Magic cards and Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff like that. I always keep that in my mind. I'm like, man, if I wanted to, like, if I don't feel like I would ever make money doing this. This is a hobby. I do this for fun. But if you wanted to make money like with cards, this is probably where it would be at right here. Just saying. We got baseball and basketball and football taking up most of the others, and then you've got all your other, hockey and minor league and soccer and things of that nature. So anyways, that's what I'm sharing. And now I lost my screen, and you guys get to look at all kinds of cool stuff. So that's what we got cooking right now. So guys, ready for our new segment of the podcast? I hope you guys are ready. I hope you guys are hitting that like button, and thank you guys for being here. We have got the one, the only Mike ripping from Rookies here to kick off our card collectors segment. Card from the card community. We want to see your cards and what your favorite stuff to collect. And Mike so graciously decided he'd be there. We'll say, let's add him in. There he is.
I don't know if it was graciously. I was kind of threatened by Fuego. He said, "You're going to be on the next podcast." Like, okay. I have no choice.
There we
you
go.
don't have to
there
put me on full screen. You really don't.
Oh, yeah, we got to see
all about you, Mike. All about you.
Come on, Mike. The people
All right,
are here to see you.
So start firing out questions, since this is this will be the low point of the new segment. Start with me and work your way up.
So for those of you that don't know, and you've been living in a cave, Mike ripping from Rookies, check out his YouTube channel. I have it posted in the comments. I have it posted in the description. Mike is an amazing card community member. He does breaks weekly. He does videos. He does giveaways. He opens what's the name of the subscription box that you do all the time?
Grand Slam Card Club.
Yes. So great videos, super, super fun guy. The breaks are awesome. They're always well priced. Shipping is on point. Mike, I think you're a Phillies fan. Is that right?
A little bit.
The question is, what is it that Mike doesn't do on his channel?
Right? There we go.
Yeah,
there we go.
There's other things Mike, I could do that I just choose not to. Just put it that way. Probably because of my age.
Well, yeah. When we're talking about cardboard, Mike, OnlyFans is something different.
OnlyFans is not.
I mean, not think about it right now. I mean, and I'm sure Adrian can agree with me. You are an individual who gets into breaks dream, because your breaks, one, are very consistent with total randomness, meaning 1 week you're gonna do flagship, next minute you're gonna do mixers through the years. If I'm not mistaken, you've got a break coming up where we're actually gonna take it outside of the major leagues, and we're gonna deal with the prospects. So I mean, throw a variety at us. How you formulate these breaks, I haven't seen any breaker out there who does their selling of teams the way you do.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Well,
and everybody, I'm pretty sure, will appreciate the fact that, you're not your typical breaker on the industry where you're looking to make profit off of it. All you're simply doing is making enough to cover your cost and potentially put in for the next break.
That's what I want to do. I just want to cover my costs, then get the next break out there.
There you go.
And I plan it out like 2 weeks in advance of what I'm going to do. So this week we're going to do some prospecting with some Bowman Draft, 2022 Bowman Draft, and I've got 2 hobbies of Pro Debut, which I think is an extremely underrated product, considering you get 4 autographs in there, you get 4 to 5 numbered cards in there, And it's a nice product that, you know, you sit on it and then you pull it out like 2 or 3 years from now and you're like, oh, wow, this guy's in the MLB. This guy made it. This guy made it. I found so many cards doing that. It was ridiculous. You know, I didn't know that I had a Jackson Holiday card sitting around. And it's like, wow,
Nice.
okay, he's like
he's a chaser right now.
Yeah, he's a chaser right now. And you just don't know, and you find it. And then sometimes you find other cards like this gentleman, Mr. Hans Kraus. You know, it's like, great.
Your number one unintentional PC.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah, Mike. Mike, tell us a little bit about your card collecting journey, like how you got into card collecting, how you got to this point. Tell us about yourself.
Well, I started in probably like 1972 because all the kids on my block were collecting baseball cards. And of course, we were, you know, all trying to collect the Phillies and stuff like that. My obsession with the Phillies started.
Wait, you said 1972?
72? Yeah, I was 7 years old.
Oh, man.
So 72, right up until I went into high school, which was probably, when I go into high school? 79, 80. And then it was like, it wasn't baseball cards anymore. It was, you know, you're looking for other things at that point. You know, you get a job, you get a girlfriend, you get a car, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So then it kind of stopped, and I moved out of my house when I was 19 years old, and these baseball cards were just sitting in a box, and went back and looked for them, and I didn't think you wanted them anymore. I throw them out.
Oh,
yeah, all the cards from the 70s. So yeah, so that happened, and then I was just like, okay, well, let's find some other things to do. So let's see. I was working my full-time job. I was playing hockey 3 nights a week. I was in a band and all different kinds of stuff. And I didn't get back into baseball until 2020, or actually 2019. I started looking. I just went on YouTube and started looking at baseball card channels and stuff like that. And of course, like the first one that everybody looks at is Jabs, you know, boom, right up there. So you look at Jabs and you see all the stuff and you start gaining information. And you start exploring the different channels that are out there. And I really latched on the striker breaks.
I feel like the first place I've ever saw your screen name was in Jabs. Like
it might have been. It might have been. That was probably, I started my channel in April of 2020. So it'll be 3 years at the end of April for my channel being up and running. And I've gone through some different transitions and stuff like that. I mean, back in the day when 2020, when, you know, product, you could actually get a blaster box for $19 and a hanger box for $9. You know, you could buy one of those every week and shoot a video on it. And now they're hard as 2020 went along, 2021 went along, it was harder and harder to find. Now the prices are starting to go up. So I'm trying to do different things with my channel to keep it cost effective and not have to pay to put a video out every week. So I got back into it, and I remember buying a couple of hanger boxes. I went to Target, bought a couple of hanger boxes, and just opened them up. And it's like, I knew the rookies to chase for because, you know, at that time it was, you know, Yordan Alvarez, Bo Bichette, Aquino, Lux. And so I had them all put aside. And then there was one day I was just going through them, and I was like, why is this Bo Bichette different than this Bo Bichette? It had like a border on it. I'm like, what is this all about? And I flipped it over and it's numbered out at, you know, 2020. And I was like, okay, so what does that mean? And it's a gold card. Back when I was collecting, there were no number cards. There were no autographs. There was nothing. It was base cards. And you were looking for your favorite players. That's what they didn't even have a rookie logo on there, you know, so you didn't even know who the rookie was or wasn't. And so once I saw that I had a gold card, I went on eBay and I looked at the price of that and was like, this thing's selling for $70. All right, I'm hooked. And that was it. And then I went crazy that first year. I was buying everything in sight. And the next year I was like, okay, I got way too many for less than a year. Put on the brakes. And that's when I started buying into brakes. And I started looking at different breakers and how they were doing it. And I said, I'm only going to go after the Phillies, and that's going to be my only PC. And it was Phillies, any Phillies. I didn't care who they were, from what years, or how good they were, or how bad they were. And I started looking at different breakers, and I kind of really gravitated towards striker because like when I'm sorting the cards after a break, I'll put a striker video on for like an hour and a half, sort cards. I'm not watching the cards that he's pulling until he hits something big or something like that, but I'm listening to him describe the set, describe the players, describe what you're looking for, what the value is, and all that other stuff. Very knowledgeable on modern day cards and all of that. And I like the way that he does breaks, where he mixes it up, where every team has a chance to get something. You know, if your team wasn't good in 2020, but they were good in 2011, you know, start to, you know, to look that way and do a mixer of different stuff. So I've tested some stuff out. Some stuff has worked really well. Some stuff, you know, so I'm going to give it a shot with prospecting this week and see what happens with it. And it's going to be very reasonable price. And I'm not going to break it down like I've been doing before. It's going to be random, and it's going to be random spots, 14 for one, 26 for two teams, $35 for 3 spots. And that includes shipping. And then, yes, we can do trades after that.
I'm there.
Because there's just a lot going on. And you never know with prospects, you know, 5 years from now, where they're going to be, you know.
Yeah.
Because they hype everybody up. They hyped Dominguez up in 2020. He was the guy in Bowman, and now his cards are not selling for what they were selling in 2020.
No, nowhere near it.
Yeah.
You know, with the prospects and stuff, it's like buy it, sell it right away, or you need to wait until those players hit the big leagues again and see how they perform. That's the only way to go. But they are fun, like time capsule kind of things if you think about it. When you go back and find the ones that made it and stuff. So
RJ, yes, you can't get the Phillies from me. I am not going to go for the Phillies in this break. I already have all the Phillies I need from Pro Debut and from Bowman Draft.
Nice.
So, yep.
So, all right, Mike, you got some cards?
Yeah, let me stop my cam and flip it around, and then I'll show you. This is going to be fun. It's not going to be all Phillies cards. It's going to be things that
Mike had to open up the vault.
Here comes the money.
There's no. Trust me, there's no money here. A lot of things I do for fun. Now, when I got back into it and I was buying some older product and opening it, I was like, well, what am I going to do with all these cards? So I just started going through it, and just for fun, I started pulling out all the rock stars. We got Jim Morrison from The Doors. We got Kenny Rogers, the gambler. We know that. We got Michael Jackson, right? Dave Clark, and if anybody knows Dave Clark, it was the Dave Clark 5. One of their songs knocked off the Beatles for the #1 song. Steve Howe, the guitarist from Yes. We've got Ian Anderson, lead singer for Jethro Tull. Let's see, Brian Johnson from AC/DC, lead singer. We've got Bobby Brown. And then we've got both Will Smiths.
Nice.
And then from the mind of Bud Stoney, we got the rock star, Bryce Harper, one of one from Mr. Bud Stoney.
Awesome.
He made this for me, and I was like, this is insane. So, yes.
You ever send him that Jazz Chisholm, a.k.a. Flavor Flav?
I don't have that card yet. It's the All-Star card, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Well, once I get that, it's going to him. All right. So then it's also back in the day. It was the wow. Look at the size of these glasses.
Wow,
it's like
awesome.
You got to be kidding me. I said I've got to get a nice collection of these guys in here, and it's just like, could you imagine getting hit in the face with a baseball with these glasses on? It's going to take it's going to take your eye out and everything else. All right. So that's just a bunch of them.
Jeez.
But towards the end, it gets like really bad. Well, there's Ken Phelps, and we don't know who he was traded for. And then we've got Tom Hankey. Hankey, the glasses are bad enough. Don't smile. And it's like, really? Jeez. And we got Sherman. Sherman with the big old goggles on.
Awesome.
And then this guy. It's like,
oh my God.
You just got to go with the goofy glasses sometime. So that's another thing that I PC. Let's see the other ones. Players that don't want their their picture taken. It was like somebody whistled, he turned his head and they snapped the picture. And then we got this guy is like, really? We got Terry Leach. I think there's like 3 Terry Leaches like this. He just glances at you. This guy looks like he just got benched. Jody Reed. Yeah, he looks really angry. And Chip Hale is like another one. It's like just pissed off. They're getting a picture taken. He doesn't even look like he knows what's going on. He's just out of it. This guy looks like he's like locked up in a jail cell.
What did he say?
Exactly. And then more angry people. Gene Nelson, Jim Acker, Chuck Finley. Man. And then we got Jerry Don Gleason. But the best of all, and once I got it, it's the creme de la creme, the Ed Lynch triple chin. I really don't want you taking my picture. So
oh my God. This is awesome. This is not how I thought this card collection was going to go.
I told you it was going to be completely different. It's going to.
I love it.
I've got some Phillies cards. All right, and then we got the. I'm always looking for players with crazy names or something like that, like Filkington. That's a good name. Why not? Blankenhorn. Gross Hands. Deathridge. That sounds like a character from Dungeons and Dragons. Chad Cool, you better be to have that name. Yeah. And then, of course, you're going to have a beer with a burger.
With a burger, yeah.
You're going to have a Newt bar. So we just keep it going like that.
Newt bar.
Eddie Stanky. Stanky.
I love it.
Okay, no, just Danny Mendick. All right, change your last name, buddy. Pitchers, Andre Scrub. You don't want to be a scrub. Aaron Bummer. Bob Walk, bad name for a pitcher.
Yeah.
Oh, and then my favorite, Jansen Junk. Throw in the junk. Now, the story behind this autograph is I saw it on eBay and it was $1.25 with $1.99 shipping. I said, okay, so I'll put in a bid of $2. So I put the bid of $2 in, and then all of a sudden it bumped up to $2.25. And I was like, it was like 10 minutes left in the auction. I'm like, no, I'm not going to get it. Now, the funny thing is, the person that bid $2.25 on it was John from Beast and Beauty Breaks, and he sent it to me. So I was bidding against him for this card.
Wow, is it very nice?
That's awesome.
All right, now going to players that I am forced to PC. Going to start off with one Mitchell White. Now, what happened with Mitch White was my first break I ever did was a box of 2021, or was it 2020? I don't know, 20 or 21. It was 2021. And it was Stadium Club and 2 autographs in there. And we're going through the box and there's like no hits coming out. So the first autograph we pulled was Mitch White. And then the second autograph we pulled was Mitch White. 2 of the same autograph in the hobby box. So my Mitch White collection, it's probably pretty darn good. I got all the tops. Oh, we got a gold. And then from Gypsy Queen, we got the green, and we got the no name, we got the rookie and stars. And let's see, we've also got we got autographs from Gallery and Topps Chrome. And this is the one that started it off. I pulled 2 of these out of the Stadium Club box.
You notice how you have a product rainbow and then you have a Rip It for Rookies rainbow.
Yep, there you go. There you go. So I know how that one started. The Hans Kraus, I have no idea how it started. I think I mentioned something about it or something, and I have not purchased one Hans Kraus card, but these have all been sent to me, the Pro Debut, and we'll just go through all of them. Now, it gets funny when we hit Panini product. I think they only have 1 picture of Hans Kraus. Diamond Kings. We got Don Ross. We've got Optic. We've got Prism. We've got, I'm trying to think of the name of that one, and I can't think of it. I had Contenders at Chronicles.
Chronicles, yeah.
Same picture, numbered cards. Oh, but this year they switched it up. Mosaic has a different picture of him. And then we have the Bowmans. And I got this one. Vogue sent me this one, the camo. I have patches, and of course, you know, he's like the poster boy for Panini product. That one's out of 99. So this one's probably worth about 50 cents. This one's probably worth about 57 cents because it's numbered. We've got his autograph. We got his autograph and 4-patch relic out of 199, and then his rookie autograph here. And we have a booklet.
Oh, a booklet.
A booklet. Yeah.
Dude, if he goes off, you're set, man.
Yeah, that's out of 99. And during my breaks, if we had a bad break or it wasn't going well, we would sacrifice a Hans Kraus card. And everybody said, well, what if he turns into something? I said, the likelihood of him turning into Nolan Ryan is slim to none. Slim went out the door and none died. So it's not going to happen. Okay, now we're going to get into some Phillies cards. And these are the oldest Phillies cards that I have. I've got a 1966 Richie Allen. Finally made it into the Hall of Fame by the writers. I've got a 1962 Johnny Callison. And then we go back to 1960. It's the Joe Cope rookie Gold Cup card. We've got a Johnny Callison. We got a Robin Roberts, which is probably one of my favorite cards of all time. It's
I love those cards.
So old, 1960.
1960.
And this one I got from Stix G. Wally Post, the only player with my last name ever in baseball. And that's from 1960.
Interesting.
And then my oldest card I have is from 1956, and it's an Andy Seminick. So that's that predates me by quite a bit. So yeah, that's my older stuff. And now we'll go into my favorite Philly of all time, the player that I tried to emulate growing up unsuccessfully, other than height and weight. That was about it. And that is Larry Bella. And I got this card. I shot a video probably about 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago. And I said, I showed them this 1971 Larry Bella card on there. I said, this is my favorite card. It's probably like a PSA 1 that the corners were all gone. It was all mangled and everything like that, but it's my favorite card. So Jimmy Redbeard heard it, and he went to his and they had one, and they had it autographed. And that video, when I opened it, you heard my voice go from this to like almost like crying when I saw this card.
You pulled the jab, didn't you? You hit that high note?
No. I went like totally like about ready to cry. No high notes. It was just like one of those things where I just started shaking. So this is my Larry Bella collection of autograph cards. So that was the one. We've got the 72, 73, 74, 75, 76. Well, I don't have to read out the years, but it's every Topps card that he was in a Phillies uniform. And then there's also a couple of others, all autographed by Larry Bella. And that was the which one was that? Was that Donruss when that came out, or was that Fleer? That's Fleer. Also have the Fleer. I had stopped collecting at this point. And also have one with the Cubs, and I have the Hometown Heroes. And I think this was sent to me by Bud Stoney through Steve Rademacher at one point. So it kind of went through a couple of hands to get to me. And that was really a special card, getting something like that. And Larry Bella, an amazing person, a lifer in baseball. He's been in baseball his entire life. And the funny thing about him, there was when he was in the minor leagues, it was out in actually I think it was in high school. And Philly sent a scout out to watch Larry Bella play, and it was a doubleheader, and the scout arrived late and arrived in the second inning. Well, Larry Bella already got thrown out of the game and wasn't allowed to play the second game. So that's just the feistiness of him.
Yeah.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
No, he won't, and he probably won't be a Hall of Famer. He doesn't have Hall of Fame numbers. He's got, back then your scrappy shortstop kind of numbers where they're more known for their defense than they are for their offense.
So his numbers are just enough to stay within the big leagues.
Yeah, I mean, he was incredibly gifted defensively. He was like around a 260 lifetime hitter. So some seasons he hit upwards towards 300, and then when he first came up, he was like in the 210s, 200s. Didn't have any power whatsoever, but would get on base and would just steal bases and get you where you needed to go. So now on to my modern cards of players that I'm collecting. Like, of course, I'm collecting all Phillies players, but these are just some of my favorite players and prospects that I'm looking at. Micah Bell, he is the number 2 prospect in the Phillies organization. That card's number 2 out of 199, and this is from this year's pro debut.
Nice.
Andrew Painter, he is 19 years old, and he's already going to be in AA. He's somebody
cool.
you really want to take a look at. He's 6'7", 225 pounds.
And he's a pitcher too, yeah?
He's a pitcher. He's 19 years old.
What a cool name for a pitcher.
He's going to be painting corners.
Yeah.
So my suggestion for Andrew Painter is go get your Tommy John surgery now. Get it out of the way. Get it out of the way, and let's start playing some ball.
Nice.
Let's see, from the 93 team, I have these. These are the Sportflix cards. I've got John Kruk, and it's not. There it goes. It's going
Nice.
to. It's tough to go on the camera.
His head taken off by Randy Johnson.
Yeah, exactly. I love that upper deck card. I have to get me that one. That's beautiful from this year. Where he's basically bowing to Randy Johnson. John Kruk didn't look like an athlete, and somebody said, you're too fat to be an athlete, and he said back to him, yeah, well, guess what? I'm not an athlete. I'm a ball player. So there you go. There you go. Darren Dalton, Dutch, pretty much the leader of that 93 team. Unfortunately, he passed away. He was another one that got brain cancer from, I don't know, it was him, Tug McGraw, John Vukovic. They all get brain cancer, and it's like, what is it? Was it something with that field where it was built on a toxic toxic site or something like that? I don't know. It's crazy. I've got a Ryan Howard from the 88 team, and that's the Ovation Apparel. We've got Chase Utley from Topps Chrome. Love that. Chase Utley
I hated Chase Utley in 09.
Yeah, but he was so good, man.
He was.
You have to respect him. I know he hit a lot of home runs against the Yanks, but the Yanks won the series. Jimmy Rollins, and these are grown players from the Philly organization. They weren't acquisitions. That's why I really like these players. And this one also, Cole Hamels came up through the organization. I saw his first game. He pitched against the Yankees. He gave up 4 hits and wound up losing the game 2-0. But he looked pretty darn good in that game. So I knew that there were things that were going to happen. Rest in peace, Roy Halladay. 3 great seasons with the Phillies and a lifetime with the Blue Jays. He was just all about baseball and all about the game, and all
he was
about,
a beast.
Yeah, all about being prepared for the next game. And
Utley is not in the Hall of Fame, RJ.
No. Utley Hall of Fame. He could. He won't be first ballot though.
No.
But he could. I would say it would be. I think Rollins would probably get in before him.
Yeah.
And it's going to be kind of like a toss up between Howard and Utley. Howard, his career was cut so short. In 11 when he blew out his Achilles.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. And one of my favorite characters,
yes,
Uncle Larry.
Uncle Larry.
That's
gotta
awesome.
love McCutch, man. I always liked him as a Pirate. I loved him on the Pirates, and I said, I hope one day he plays for the Phillies. And yeah, and he did, and I'm very happy about that. Very sad to see him go. And let's see what else we got here. And these are from the Phillies, from the World Series team this year. I've got a Reese Hoskins portrait material and double patch out of 25. Bryson Stott. I don't have the gold of his regular rookie, but I got the gold of his rookie debut. That's probably my best Bryson Stott card. All right, this one has many meanings to me. The Alec Bohm autograph from Select, one, and it's a single patch with the stripe, and it's numbered out of 299. This was given to me by the late Steve Marquez. So this is
wow.
Yeah, this is a very probably my. I have so many favorites, but this card has so much meaning because of the card community that this one stays out in sight where I can see it every day.
There you go.
So,
I love it. I love it.
That's a great card. That's just a great card. Oh, whew, I'm getting choked up already. Sorry, guys.
Right.
Then we have. See, I'm talking about cards, but then you pull this one out, and like every emotion flows back, and it's just like, you know, it's a card, but cards are not cards. Cards mean something. I don't know about the value. I don't care about the value of a card. Each card has meaning to me. They're all.
It's all sentimental.
Yeah,
100%. That's why we're all here doing this.
Yeah, whether it's good or bad, it brings back memory, and that's why you hold on to the card. You hold on to the card, you hold on to the memory.
Yep.
I've got a Bryce Harper out of 35. That's a pretty sweet card. I forgot who I got that from.
Is that like a velocity parallel, or is that numbered? What is that?
They have it's numbered out of 35, 27 out of 35.
Nice.
Wow.
That's a good looking card.
Yeah, and I don't know where. I think somebody gave that to me. I'm not sure, or I won it. I don't know. Or I got it on a mystery pack from someone. I'm not sure. JT Realmuto. Now, notable about JT Realmuto, his hits record and batting average record for Oklahoma high school, the high school they went to, was broken this year by Jackson Holiday.
Oh wow!
Oh, fun fact.
Holiday hit close to 650. His batting average was 650. So watch out for that kid. Aaron Nola, the pitcher that we actually got through our system somehow. 10 out of 27, the season opener. This was his 4th straight season opener that he pitched in 2021. Zach Wheeler in the that is cool. Yeah, the green sapphire. That is really cool. And that's 6 out of 45. And then couple of, all right, here we go. I got this one from Chuck Dupree. He said he had a lot of cards that he wanted to sell, and I said, name a price and I'll buy it. So it's a Steve Carlton. That's a near mint 7, 1975.
That's a pretty damn good 7.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Thank you, Chuck, for having this card and allowing me to get it. And this next card, I sent something out to Big D. This is probably about 2 years ago or something like that. I sent him a Burt Blyleven patch auto, like numbered out of 10. He said, "Oh, I got to send you something good for that." Well, I don't think it gets much better than that.
Wow! Dang!
It's all famer. Yep, it's got the sticker that it's all authentics, in person, authentic. So yeah, this was Mike Schmidt's last year.
Wow,
that was his last year. And how can you not this? I don't know if I would call it a person, but he's been around since 1978 with the Phillies organization. How can you go wrong? Honestly, really?
Yeah.
For longevity, you got to have the fanatic in there.
Yeah.
You do.
Yep.
So I know, whenever you think of baseball, like mascots, that's number 1 right there to me.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mascot of mascots.
Yeah, pretty well. The chicken started it off. And I do have Matty Ice sent me a chicken card, and I don't know if I have it here. I usually have the cards that I really like up top here. Yeah, we go. Yeah, we got the chicken.
Oh, the San Diego chicken, nice.
So the chicken really started it. You know, what came
Yeah.
first, the chicken or Fanatic? Well, it was the chicken.
Definitely.
The Fanatic they had to find in the Galapagos Islands because there's nothing else that looks like that.
Yeah, seriously.
So that's my presentation of my cards. Like I said, I don't have cards that are worth thousands of dollars or anything like that. But
Nobody cares about that in here.
the cards that I
Yeah.
have, I will never part with. They're part of me. They're part of me being back into this hobby and just getting back into the hobby in the past 2-3 years, just to accumulate the cards that I have is just, it's amazing. And it's not me getting the cards, it's the card community. If I didn't meet these people in the card community and we swap stuff back and forth like that, or they have something to sell and they'll sell at a good price, it's like I would be like one man out on an island, instead of a community of everybody that is doing it for the right thing. I don't think I look at it this way. If you're in this to make money, to pull that card that's going to set you up for life, buy a lottery ticket.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you have to be in this for the hobby first. And if something comes along, great. Hey, that's awesome. That's absolutely fantastic. But the chances of you pulling that one card that you want, it's not going to happen. Nope. It's just not. So, thank you, John.
Mike, thank you so much, Mike, for coming on here today. I appreciate you so much. That was way awesome. I'm so looking forward to doing this segment with other people in the community. I loved it because I just learned. I watch you pretty religiously on YouTube, and I just learned so much more about you. I can't wait to send you your next care package. It's gonna be stacked. It's gonna be stacked.
Great, more Hans Kraus.
Everybody watching and listening, be sure to sub up my man, Ripping from Rookies, Mike. Links on there, and his next break is next Tuesday. If you guys want to check it out. Yep. And Mike, is there anything else I can shout out for you on the podcast today, or?
No, that's about it. Thank you for having me on the podcast. I had yesterday off and I was like, okay, well, I know that I have to get some cards together. And I had a list of like 20 things that I wanted to do. Now let's whittle it down. Let's try to make it around 15, 20 minutes. I think it went about a half hour. So I could have whittled it down a little bit more.
It's all good.
I just didn't want to show off Phillies cards, because everybody, oh, here he goes showing off his Phillies cards again. Yeah. I wanted to spice it up, and for anybody that's out there, it's kind of like I learned a lot from Bud Stoney when I first started, when I was at like 100 subscribers, and we were like chatting back and forth, and he had all these binders. He collects checklists. He collects every card with 420 on it. He collects anything that's referenced to pot, like Bud Black or something like that. Yeah. So
it's fun.
Yeah,
you gotta love it.
It's a different way to take your card collecting. That way.
100%.
So when you get that $5 Fairfield box, look for the rock stars, look for the stupid glasses, look for the the sneers and definitely the bad mustaches and the unibrows. I think
the mustaches would be a good one. Yeah.
So it makes it fun.
Awesome.
All
right. Well, thank you so much, Mike, for being on with us. Hope you can hang. I'm going to put you back in the background again, but maybe you can hang out for a minute.
I'll hang out
after the pod. All right. Thank you so much. Let's go. I don't know how to take you out of here. There we go. All right. So, boom. How did I switch us? Wait, I'm supposed to be on the other side. There we go. All right.
I identify as a league of our own.
Mr. Fuego, do you have anything else to add to the podcast today?
I do. So before this podcast, we were supposed to have gotten into a case of Chrome update. Clearly that didn't happen. But my case will be here on Monday, and we're going to go ahead and do that case break right after episode 12 of the podcast. So make sure y'all have your lickies and chewies, get your snacks, get your beers or whatever. It's going to be a long night. So
it's going to be exciting.
We're going to, I did put out a poll on my community tab if they wanted me to go ahead and break up the case into 2 segments. And the majority basically said, no, go ahead and go hard or go home or rip off the Band-Aid. I even had one person say, go ahead and do a case break inside the car. I'm not going to mention Robbie Lynn, but that was brought up. But we will be doing the case break right after the podcast. Hopefully y'all can come around, hang out, hopefully we get some nice stuff out of that. Because the last break that I actually did, the 12 box hanger boxes, didn't work out in my favor. It happens. We'll see what this case break that I got going on turns it around. That's pretty much all I got.
Good vibes for that case, man. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining the Baseball Junkies podcast today. Be sure to check us out next Saturday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. And we'll see you guys all out there in the YouTube world. And thank you again to Mike for joining us tonight. Everybody's awesome. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and have a good night.